Bismillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wa halul uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Rabbi yassir wa la tu'assir wa tammim bil khair. So inshallah we are going to start lesson number 7. So before we start lesson number 7, I would like to ask if I ask you to translate, like I'm talking to the masculine, to the masculine. So I'm asking, you all went. So how will we translate it? You all went. To the male, to the masculine. Anyone can answer. Yes. ذهبتم. Okay. And for the feminine plural, for the second person, yani mukhatab, the one that you are talking to.
ذهبتا.
No, for the plural, for the feminine plural.
ذهبتن.
Excellent. ذهبتن. You see, for the second person, it's very simple. We have ta in every of the forms of the verb. There are 6 forms of the verb. And today we are focusing only on the plural form. So tum is for the plural for masculine, and tunna is for the feminine. So tum and tunna, that's what we have to remember. Especially for the feminine, it's easier to remember because it ends with noon with tashdid. So dhahabtum and dhahabtunna. Okay, and if we want to say we went, for both, of course, for masculine and feminine. We went. Again.
Nahnu.
Okay.
ذهبتani.
ذهبنا.
Yes. ذهبنا. Okay. Can you see the screen now?
Yes.
I've shared it. Okay. So as we can see here in this lesson, the focus is on the pronouns or the verb forms that are used for the second person plural and the first person plural. Yani al-mutakallim, the one who is talking. For example, I am talking, so I'm singular. I will say ana dhahabtu. And if we talk about all of us together, we will say nahnu dhahabna. And even if we like remove ana and nahnu, still the meaning is clear. So when I say dhahabtu, that will be translated as I went. And when we say dhahabna, it will be translated as we went. You know about that, right? So as we can see here, dhahabtum, and on the same pattern, we have the verb akaltum. So akala, we have taken it, he ate, and akaltum, you ate. So if you're asking someone or asking a question to the plural masculine, ماذا أكلتم يا إخوانو? What did you eat, brothers? And similarly, ذهبتن, and on the pattern of ذهبتن, we have قرأتن. So you see here, if you have, or if you memorize only one pattern, that is dhahaba, and based on that pattern, we can make many forms of the verbs. For example, we say dhahabtunna. If I want to say you all ladies ate, you ate. So how will we say? Akaltunna, right? Akaltunna, excellent. And similarly, if we want to say you read to the ladies, so we will say qara'tunna. Okay, if I am asking the male, like masculine, if I'm asking them like you all read, so how will we translate it? Excellent. Qara'tum. So as we can see here, dhahabtum, akaltum, qara'tum, and similarly dhahabtunna, and the same pattern will be akaltunna, qara'tunna, kharajtunna, and all the verbs will fall in the same pattern. And aqra'tunna hadhihi al-majallata ya akhawatu. Did you read this magazine, sisters? So we know that this hamza is used to ask a question which is called yes, no question. So the answer will be either yes or no. So aqra'tunna hadhihi al-majallata ya akhawatu. So what will be your answer?
نعم قرأتها.
Okay, and if the answer is no,
لا.
لا ما قرأتها.
ما قرأت.
Yeah, or قرأتها. Ha refers to the majalla, to the magazine. And similarly, dhahabna is the plural form of the speaker, the one who is talking. So on the same pattern, we have sami'na, that means we heard. Ma sami'na al-adhana, we didn't hear the adhan. And similarly, akaltum from akala, if I want to say we ate. So how will we say that? We ate.
أكلنا.
Akalna. Okay. Okay. And we read.
قرأنا.
Excellent. And we heard. Sami'na. Okay. If we want to say we didn't read, so we will say ma qara'na.
قرأنا.
Excellent. And we didn't eat, ma akalna. Excellent. Here there is a, as we can see here, the fourth point, it's ra'aytum. Ra'aytum, we can see that ra'aytum ends with meme and meme is sakin, right? Ra'aytum. If you remember, we have discussed many times that when we connect meme, we connect it with dhamma, right? For example, wa alaykumus salamu. So alaykum, meme is sakin, but when we connect it, we say wa alaykumus salamu, right? Similarly, it is ra'aytum. Okay, ra'aytum, right? Ra'aytum is what? The plural for the masculine. You saw, right? Okay, when we say ra'aytum, now the meaning is not clear. We need an object. So we want to say that you saw him. We will say ra'aytum and who. Ra'aytum who doesn't make any sense. We know that waw and dhamma come together. So a waw will be added and it will become ra'aytumuhu. Ra'aytumuhu. You saw him. So we say like this, ra'aytumuhu. So ra'aytum, and when we need to connect tum, meme with a word, we need to add dhamma. And when we connect it with a pronoun, then we have to add waw as well. So the plural will be ra'aytumuhu. All right. And there are lots of exercises based on this pattern. So inshallah, when you practice, when you write it down, it will become much easier for you. Kana, do you remember about something about kana? Yesterday, we completed the conjugation of kana. So kana means he was, and it is used with, or in a nominal sentence. So it is used with jumlatul ismiya. So you remember about nominal sentence, right? Nominal sentence has a subject and predicate, mubtada and khabar, right? Okay, so kana comes with a nominal sentence. As we can see here, Bilalun fil fasli, it is translated as Bilal is in the class. Bilalun fil fasli. So it is a nominal sentence. Bilalun is the subject and fil fasli is the predicate. Bilalun fil fasli, Bilal is in the classroom. If we want to say Bilal was in the classroom, so we will add kana. Kana Bilalun fil fasli. Bilal was in the classroom. Today, we will only focus on this part of kana, and then inshallah in the next lessons, we will discuss that kana also has sisters. So we say kana wa akhawatuha, and kana has also some, because it starts with or comes with a nominal sentence, so also the subject becomes ismu kana and the khabar becomes khabaru kana. But we are not discussing it today. Today only we will talk about the meaning of kana. It means was. And we will only learn that kana comes with a nominal sentence. As we can see here, Bilalun fil fasli is a nominal sentence, and we have used kana with it, so it is translated as Bilal was in the class. If I ask you to tell me that you say or translate, I was in the class, how will you say? I was. We did the conjugation yesterday. It seems you didn't write, or maybe you didn't memorize. Kuntu. Kuntu fil fasli. Kuntu fil fasli. Okay, we were in the class. We were. Kunna fil fasli. Excellent. Yes. Kunna fil fasli. We were in the class. Okay, and we have learned about the use of dhu. If you remember, it means the possessor. And here the only point is that if the noun before dhu is definite, or I should say indefinite. If it's a common noun, then the noun that follows dhu will be also a common noun. As we can see here, rajulun dhu lihyatin, a man with beard or a bearded man. So dhu comes in the middle, and the noun that comes before it and after it will be equal in number, gender, and all the four properties. However, lihyatin is something that comes feminine by itself, and it's only the quality of the men. Only men have beard. Similarly, there are some qualities of the women that men don't have. So we will also, inshallah, talk about this as well. For example, hamil is only used for the feminine. It's not used for men. Similarly, lihya is used for the men. So rajulan dhu lihyatin, a man with beard. But if we have ar-rajulu, then we have to use al-lihya. So the only thing that we need to know here is if before dhu, if the noun is common, then after that the noun will be common. And before that, if the noun is proper, then after that the noun will be also proper as well. What is the quality of dhu? Do you remember how do we use it grammatically? It is always used as excellent. So that's why we can see here that lihya is here majroor here. It's because of dhu. So the man with beard, rajulun dhu lihyatin, and if it is ar-rajulu, then the noun that follows it will be also with al as well. So ar-rajulu dhu al-lihyati, the bearded man. And we have discussed about this many times that if a verb or a noun ends with meme and the meme is sakin, then we connect it with dhamma. As we can see here, baytukum, and if you want to say your new house, so we will say baytukum, and when we connect it with al, it will be baytukumul jadidu. Mul, it will be connected with dhamma, baytukumul jadidu. So dhahabtum, kitabuhum, hum, kitabukum, antum, all of them, they have meme sakin, and whenever we connect meme sakin with al or hamzatul wasl, then it will be connected with dhamma. Thuluthun means 1/3. So the fractions like 1/3, 1/4, they come on the pattern of fu'lun. Fu'lun. Only thuluthun and sudusun, they come on the pattern of thuluthun, whereas the rest of them, they come on the pattern of fu'lun. Yani the middle or the ain kalima will be sakin. So thuluthun, sudusun, it means 1/6 and 1/3. So these fractions, inshallah, we will learn them in the exercises. Okay, here now we are talking about the verb. If a verb ends with ya, do you remember any verb that ends with ya? Ra'a. Yeah, we have learned this, okay. So when the verb ends with ya, and if we want to connect it with the attached pronoun, then ya changes into alif. For example, the verb is shafa, shafaya, so it is read as shafa. And when we want to connect it with hu or ka or whatever the attached pronoun is, then this ya changes into alif. So it will be shafahu. So ya changes into alif when we connect it with the attached pronouns. Shafa plus hu changes into alif, so it becomes shafahu. Shafahullahu, may Allah cure him. And inshallah, we will discuss it in the lesson. Similarly, ra'a plus hu changes into ra'ahu. Now, what happened here? After ra, we have hamza, right? And then we have discussed now that ya also changes into hamza, or it changes into alif. So when we have the first hamza is mutaharrik, yani it has fatha, and after that, if we have alif, so it will change into what do we call that? Standing fatha or mad. Okay, so it will be ra'ahu. He saw him. And in Surah An-Najm, verse number 13, وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ نَزْلَةً أُخْرَى. So inshallah, when you see today, it will be وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ نَزْلَةً أُخْرَى. So, and he certainly saw him in another descent. So it changes into mad or standing fatha. Okay, third person pronouns, the attached pronouns, you remember that the attached pronouns for the third person are hu, huma, hum, right? And for the feminine, they are ha, huma, hunna. If you remember, I sent you a file, but I couldn't find it. So if we have a kasra before these third person attached pronouns, then they also accept kasra and they become majroor. For example, we say who, if we say his house, how will we say? Baytuhu, right? Baytuhu. But if I want to say in his house, I will say fi bayti he. Excellent. Excellent. So whenever we have kasra right before the third person attached pronouns, as you can see here, then they become majroor and they accept kasra. For example, who changes into he. So we can see here bihi. And huma changes also huma, the dhamma changes into kasra, bihima, and hum changes into he as well, so it becomes bihim. Bihi, bihima, bihim. And similarly, ha changes into biha. Of course, we can see there that ha is mabni, it doesn't change, but we will say that it is majroor. Mahallan majroor, yani it is in the place of majroor. Bihima, again here, who changed into he, and also bihinna, who changed into he. So the third person, only the third person pronouns, the attached pronouns, whenever they have kasra right before them, then they become majroor and then they accept kasra. Whereas the second person and the third person, they are mabni, they do not change. Okay, so some other added information that we are going to have in this lesson, I will just give you the highlights, and inshallah you need to memorize only the terms, and the further we inshallah move on, we will learn and talk about them. The verbs that starts with waw are called mithal. So you just only need to know that there are some verbs that also start with waw, and they are a special family of the verbs, and that family is called mithal. You remember that there are two types of verbs, sahih, that are regular, and ghair sahih, that are irregular. Sahih means that they have only the letters that are not weak letters, or they do not have hamza. For example, dhahaba. So in dhahaba, we do not have hamza, we do not have tashdid, and we do not have any of the weak letters. Similarly, kharaja, there is no hamza, there is no tashdid, and there is no waw, alif, or ya. Then the verbs that have hamza, what do we call them? Do you remember the name?
Mahmuz.
Mahmuz, excellent. Example?
Akala.
Akala, excellent. Akala, sala, qara'a, right? So the hamza can be in the beginning, in the middle, or in the end. Okay, and then we will also learn about verbal noun. Verbal noun is called masdar in Arabic. So the verbs, they have source, like masdar means source, and it is called verbal noun. In English, it is like translated as either we translate it as gerund or infinitive. Yani, we translate it as with to or with ing. For example, ziyaratun, it is translated as visit. It will be translated as to visit, and it can be translated as visiting as well. So for example, in English, we say go and goes, and then we say going, and we also say to go. So similarly, we can say visit, we can say to visit, and we can say visiting. So ziyaratun will be translated or can be translated as visit, to visit, or visiting. So the only thing that we need to know that masdar can be translated as bare infinitive, as we call that, and it can be translated as infinitive, that means to plus the first form of the verb, or it can be translated as with ing. And one of the patterns of the noun of the instrument, ismul ala, is mif'alatun. So ismul ala, one of the patterns of ismul ala is mif'alatun. For example, in this lesson, we will learn miknasatun. Miknasatun means a broom. Miknasatun. So ismul ala. Ismul ala means noun of the instrument. So as you can see here in this lesson, we only have the definitions of all these terms and all these, inshallah, verbs and nouns that we are going to learn. So I would highly recommend to please go through this document and try to just memorize these terms and try to memorize the examples, as they will help you a lot. Now, they are not mentioned anywhere in the lesson, but the reason why we are learning Arabic and the reason why I'm teaching you here is basically we want to know everything in detail. So that's why I'm giving you all the details, and the rest is up to you, inshallah. Ismul ala, what do we call it? The noun of the instrument. Do you remember one example of Ismul ala that we learned yesterday? Or in any of the Ismul ala that we have learned before?
Miftah.
Excellent, miftahun. Yesterday we learned about iron.
Mikwa.
Mikwatun. Mikwatun, okay. And about the toilet, do you remember the example, the verb of, mirhadun.
Mirhatun.
Mirhadun. So it can be either on the pattern of mif'alun or mif'alatun. It has only two patterns. Either it can be mif'alatun or mif'alun. As of now, inshallah, we focus on miknasatun, and then we will talk about mif'alun as well in the next lessons. Now I believe we can move on to the lesson. We don't really have too many things, I believe, in this lesson. So, but the lesson itself is really long. It's not like, maybe did you have chance to go through this lesson? Any of the participants, did you have the chance to go through the lesson? Okay, no. Ad-darsu as-sabi'u, lesson number 7. So we have a dialogue between the father and the sons, al-ab and al-abna. So the father is asking his sons, Aina dhahabtum ba'da darsi ya abna'i? Where did you go after the lesson, oh my sons? So as we can see here, dhahabtum will be translated as you went. Ba'da, we know that it is a dharf, and the noun that follows it will be majroor. So mudaf mudaf alayh. Ba'da darsi ya abna'i, my sons. So abna plus ya al-mutakallim, abna'i, my sons. Al-abna'u, the sons, they say dhahabna ila al-mal'abi. Dhahabna ila al-mal'abi. We went to the playground. Mal'ab is also dharf, but we will inshallah discuss about it later. Okay, Al-Ab says, Akuratul Qadami. Akuratul Qadami.
Can you repeat the last point?
Mal'ab.
Malab is also zarf.
It is, yeah. It's like there are two types of
place.
Place, that's right. Adverb of place and time, yeah. So the word that comes on the pattern of maf'alun, so that is used for place.
Like masjid, no.
No, masjid is one among them, but masjid it's an exception. Masjid, Maghrib, Mashriq, and Maghrib, these three are exceptions. For example, Maq'ad, the place where we sit. Maskan, the place where we live. So that's Mal'ab, Maskan, they are on the pattern of Mal'ab, Maf'al. Al-Ab says, so Akuratul Qadami la'ibtum am kuratul sallati. So did you play football or basketball? Akuratul Qadami. Sakura is used for ball and Qadam means foot, so it means football. La'ibtum. So it's la'iba, right? La'iba. That means the second root letter has kasra. La'ibtum, right? La'ibtum am kuratul sallati. Al-abna'u, the sons, la'ibna al-yawma kuratul qadami. So today we played football. La'ibna, we played. As we discussed in the beginning of the lesson, that we are talking about the plural form of the second person and the first person. So la'ibna, we played al-yawma today, kuratul qadami, football. La'ibna kuratul sallati fil usbu'il madi. We played basketball in the previous week, or the last week we played basketball. So this week we played football. The last week we played basketball. الأب أما ذهبتم إلى المكتبة اليوم? Didn't you go to the library today? الأبناء بلى ذهبنا. Yes, we went. So I believe that up till here it's clear now. There is nothing that we need to discuss about, right? الأب ماذا قرأتم هناك? What did you read over there? الأبناء قرأنا الصحف. قرأنا الصحف. We read the newspapers. صحف is the plural of صحيفة. So it's used for newspapers. So قرأنا الصحف. We read the newspapers. Why do I say الصحف? Why not الصحفي? Or
مفعول به.
الصحف? Okay. الأب أسمعتم, and how will I read it now? أسمعتم الأخبار, right? Excellent. أسمعتم الأخبار من الإذاعة اليوم? من الإذاعة اليوم. Did you listen to the news on the radio today? أسمعتم, did you listen الأخبار, the news from الإذاعة, the radio station اليوم today. So did you listen to the news on radio station today? الأبناء نعم سمعناها. Yes, we listened to them or we heard them. Okay. Ha refers to what?
أخبار.
Okay, why do we have to use here ha? What's the reason behind that?
Well, it's plural and inanimate object.
Okay, and we are replacing akhbar with ha because we discussed earlier that if we have if we mention a noun for the first time, normally for the second time we don't mention the same noun, we mention the pronoun. For example, you say I bought
Yes.
an apple and ate it. You will not say I bought an apple and I ate an apple, right? You will say I bought it and I ate it. So I bought an apple and ate it. Similarly, akhbar, because we have talked about the news first, so there is no need to say nam samena al akhbara. There is no need to say again, so we will say nam samena ha. Al ab min ay idaatin sami'tum. From which radio station did you listen to the news? Min ay idaatin. Okay, so ay, why it is majroor here?
Because of min.
Min, okay, and what about idaatin?
It's mudaf ilayh.
Excellent, because of
Ay.
ay. We know ay is always used as mudaf, and the noun that follows it will be mudaf ilay. Excellent. Sami'tum, what does it mean? You listen to, or I listen to, or they listen to?
You all listen to.
Yes, you all listen to. Okay. Al-abna sami'na min thalathi idha'atin. So they say that we listened from the 3 radio stations. Thalathi idha'atin. Do you remember anything about this? The numbers from 3 to 10, yeah?
Opposite in gender because idha is female, so thalas is masculine.
Masculine, and the ma'dud will be also plural. From 3 to 10, the ma'dud will be plural. So that's why we have idha'atin. So idha'atun is a radio station, and idha'atun means radio stations. And when we say min thalathi idha'atin, that will be translated as from 3 radio stations. What are those? In idha'at al-Riyadi, from Riyadh radio station, wa idha'at al-Qahirati, and Qahira radio station, wa idha'ati Londana, and from London radio station. Okay, now here I have used kasra, Riyadi, Qahira, I have used kasra, but here no kasra. Why?
First, because
Partially flexible.
What
They
about
have all-
Riyadh and Qahira? They are also partially flexible.
But they are with al.
Excellent.
are with dal.
They're used with al.
So whenever a noun takes, or when we use al with that, then it will accept kasra if needed. So that's why we say min idhat al-Riyadi wa idhat al-Qahirati wa idhat Londana. Okay, Al-Ab. Smetu anna. As you can see here, the use of anna because of smetu. So we know that normally anna comes after the verb, and anna is from the sisters of inna, and it is translated as that. And it is also used for emphasis. Like inna and anna, both of them are emphatic. Smetu anna bilalan maridun. I've heard that Bilal is sick. Wa annahu fil mustashfa, and he is in the hospital. Asahihun hada, is this true? Naam, hada sahihun. Yes, this is true. Shafa'ullahu. May Allah cure him. May Allah heal him. Okay, now you can see here, Shafa. So what was here basically?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shafa.
So there was ya over here. And we discussed that when we connect ya with the attached pronouns like hu, huma, humha, huma, hunna, then it changes into alif. Shafahullahu. So which one is the subject? Which one is the object?
Allahu is the subject and who is the object?
Who is the object and shafa is the verb, okay? So as we know that the attached pronouns will be used with the verb, that's why this is one of the places where the object comes before the subject. Normally, first there is a verb and then subject and then there is object. For example, the example I gave you from the beginning, خَلَقَ اللَّهُ الْأَرْضَ. خَلَقَ verb, Allahu subject, al-arda maf'ul. But here we can see that who has come before the subject because it has to come with the verb. Do you remember another example that we discussed or that we learned in the previous lesson?
Jazakallah.
Jazakallahu khairan wa zadakallahu ilman.
Ilman.
Yeah, okay. Okay, when we say Jazakallah, then we have to mention whether it is khair or say. It can be both, by the way. So whenever we say Jazakallah, we must say Jazakallahu khairan. Because Allah, may Allah give you jaza. So jaza, sometimes you are angry with someone, so you might say Jazakallahu sayyan. May Allah give you, and if you are angry with that person. So we have to clarify Jazakallahu khairan. Shafahullahu, may Allah cure him. Ameen. What is Ameen? We have learned about dua, excellent. We have learned about Fail al-Amr. Fail al-Amr is like when we make order to someone. This is called Ism al-Amr. Ism that is used to make a request. Okay, so for example, Hayya ala salah. Hayya is also Ism al-Amr that is used. That is a noun, but that is used to make a request or order. Similarly, Ameen, it's an ism, it's not a verb, right? So we will call it Ism al-Amr, or this is an ism that is used to make a request to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. May it be so. It is translated as may it be so. In Arabic, it is Allahumma istajib. Allahumma istajib. Yani, oh Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, please accept it. So Ameen is please, oh Allah, please accept it. May it be so. And in Arabic, it is Allahumma istajib. Ameen. Also, we need to see here that here has the basic mad, so we shouldn't prolong it for more than 2 seconds. When we recite Surah Al-Fatiha, then it's wajib on us to say Ameen. So after that, we don't have to prolong it a lot, and we don't have to say Ameen. We don't have to prolong it for so long. It's just 2 beats, 2 seconds, so it will be Ameen. Meen can be prolonged for 2 seconds, 4 or 6 seconds, that's okay. Mata dakhala al-mustashfa. Okay, so here dakhala will be translated as like what? When did he enter the hospital? So it will be translated as when was he admitted to the hospital? Excellent. So you see, sometimes translation doesn't necessarily, it cannot be 100% accurate. If we say when did he enter the hospital, doesn't make any sense. So mata dakhala al-mustashfa, when was he admitted to the hospital? So that's one of the reasons why we need to learn Arabic, so that we don't need the translation, because translations can be like sometimes there are some people, they have translated like the way they wanted to. So we have to make sure that we learn, inshallah, proper Arabic. Al-abna dakhala qabla thalathati ayamin. He was admitted 3 days ago. Dakhala, verb. Qabla, what's qabla? Do you remember?
ضرف.
Dharf, yeah, and it is used as
That's
mudaf.
مضاف.
Thalathati, 3 ayamin
مضاف
days.
إليه.
Excellent. So he was admitted 3 days ago. الأب أين الكتاب ذو الغلاف الأحمر الذي كان في غرفتي? Where is the book with the red cover that was in my room? أين الكتاب? Where is the book? ذو means with. الغلاف, the cover. الأحمر, the red. الذي, the one. كان, was. في, in غرفتي, my room. So where is the book with the red cover that was in my room? أرأيتموه, as now you can see here. رأيتم, and when we connect tum with who, we have to add wow. So it becomes أرأيتموه. Did you see it? Yusuf? أنا أخذته البارحة وقرأت نصفه. I took it last night and I read half of it. أخذ means took. أخذت, I took. أخذته, I took it. البارحة, last night. وقرأت, and I read it. I read نصفه, half of it. The father says, وأين المجلة التي كانت تحت ذاك الكتاب? And where is the magazine that was under that book? So as we can see here, majalla is feminine. That's why the verb that we are using here is also for the feminine. Kanat. Kana for masculine and kanat for feminine, right? وَأَيْنَ الْمَجَلَّةُ الَّتِي كَانَتْ تَحْتَ ذَاكَ الْكِتَابِ? And where is the magazine that was under that book? Bilal says, أَهَذِهِ هِيَ? أَهَذِهِ هِيَ? Is this the one? Al-ab, la. Al-majallatu dhatul ghilaf al-asfari. The magazine with yellow cover. The magazine with yellow color. Marwan says,
I have a question.
yes.
Zakal kitabi. Zaka is mabni.
Of course, yes, that's right. Basically, the is used for ishara and ka is used for the mukhatab, the one that you are talking to. And in today's lesson, I told you that except for the pronouns of the third person, the pronouns of the second person and the first person, they are mabni, they will not change. So dhaka will be as it is, dhaka. Similarly, dhalika doesn't change. Ulaika doesn't change. They have the same ending, which is ka. Ka is used, this is called ka ul mukhatab, the one that you are talking to, and dha is used for ishara. All right, so now we have the use of present tense, but again, we are not focusing on present tense now, inshallah. The only thing that you need to notice here is, I'm going to tell you now, Yarinul jarasu, and the bell rings, فَيَقُومُ Marwanu, and Marwan stands up, وَيَفْتَحُ الْبَابَ, and he opens the door, وَتَدْخُلُ أَخَوَاتُهُ, and his sisters enter. Now, the only thing that you need to notice here, that ya and ta, as we can see here, ya and ta, they are the symbols of the present tense, al-mudari. So basically, ya and ta come with the present tense. That's the only thing as of now that you need to remember. For example, yarinnul jarasu, so it starts with ya. Yaqumu starts with ya. Yaftahu starts with ya. Tadkhulu starts with ta. So ya and ta are the symbols of the present tense. We call it al-mudari. Did you get it?
Yes.
Can you please repeat it like what I said? If you got
Sir,
it?
can you just please repeat this again?
Yes.
Can you please repeat this again, the last thing?
Yeah, I asked someone to repeat it first, and if inshallah, if you got it,
Yarin,
okay.
Yarin,
Yarin,
Yaqum, and Yaftah. These three are present tense, and the ya in the beginning tells us that they are the present tense. And also
Excellent.
tadkhulu is present and it starts with ta. So ya and ta both are for the present tense verbs.
So up till now, what we have learned is the past tense. For example, dhahaba, dhahaba, dhahabu, kharaja, kharaja. So the present tense, the only thing that we need to know that present tense has certain symbols. Like when we talk about the present tense, so the present tense either starts with ya or it starts with ta. That's what, as of now, we need to remember. So when we see that a verb starts with ya or ta, that means it is present tense. It's not past tense anymore. Did you get it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Jazakallah.
وإياك. Al-banatu, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And we know the meaning, al-jamiyu, all, everybody. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So all of them say wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And the father says, Aina dhahabtunna ya banati. Where did you go, oh my daughters? Al-banatu, dhahabna, and here we go. Li ziyaratil mudiri. We went to visit the mudira. We went to visit the manager because they are feminine. So dhahabna li ziyaratil mudirati. We went to visit the manager. Ziyara, as I told you, this is masdar. And masdar is translated as infinitive, like to plus the first verb, or it can be translated as ing, depending on how it is used. So li ziyarati al mudirati, we went to visit the manager. Okay, also it's a noun, so that means if it's not, it's a noun, then it can have fatha, it can have dhamma, and it can have kasra. So it declines like a noun. It could be ziyaratun, ziyaratan, ziyaratin. And as we have li here, harf jar here, so that's why it is li ziyarati al mudirati. We went to visit the manager. Amashaytunna am dhahabtunna bis siyarati. So did you walk or did you go by the car? Ba is used for the car, means of transportation. Bid-darrajati, bis-sayyarati, bil-hafilati. So when we talk about the means of transportation, we use ba. Mashaytunna, the verb is masha. So masha is on the pattern of ra'a. So if you have memorized the past conjugation of ra'a, you can easily do the conjugation of masha. For example, masha, mashaya, mashaw, mashat, mashata, mashayna, mashayta, mashaytuma, mashaytum, mashayti, mashaytuma, mashaytunna. Here we go. Yes. So amashaytunna, am dhahabtunna bis-sayyarati. So did you walk or did you go by the car? Al-banatu mashayna. So that means we walked. Li'anna. What is li'anna? Do you remember? What is li'anna? Yeah, but it's like, which category does it belong to?
Sisters of Inna.
Sisters of Inna.
Watuha.
Yes. So Inna. So do you remember the sisters of Inna? Inna. Okay.
Lakinna.
Okay. La'alla. Lakinna. Bi'anna. Li'anna and anna. So you need to, I guess you need to do a bit of practice, and please don't forget to write them down. If you write them down, inshallah, it will be very beneficial for you. Li'anna, so what will be the i'rab of the next noun? Shall I say baytiha or baytuha or baytaha?
Baytaha.
Baitaha.
Why do you say that?
Isma Inna, the first verb it will be in the mansub form.
Excellent. It will be mansub. Mashayna, we walked. لأن بيتها قريب. So قريب is khabaru inna. It will not change because her house is nearby. Or min madrasatina, it's closer to our school. Huwa bayn al masjidi wal madrasati. It is between masjid and the school. Al-ab. Awajadtunnaha fil bayti. Did you find her in the house or was she there in her house? Okay, wajada. What do you remember about the verb that starts with wajada? It is a different family as of now. You should remember that. They're the verbs that start with, yeah, it's called mithal and it's a different family. The past conjugation will be the same as dhahaba. So the past conjugation is the same, only the present will change. So wajada. So can you do it on the pattern of dhahaba? Wajada, wajada,
وجد
wajadu.
وجدوا
Okay.
وجدت وجدت وجدنا
Wajadana. Excellent. Okay.
وجدت
Yes.
وجدتما وجدتم
Excellent.
وجدتي
Wajadti.
وجدتما
وجدتما
Wajadtunna. As you can see here, wajadtunna. Ha refers to the teacher, right? And wajadtu and wajadna. So wajadtuha fil bayti. Did you find her in the house? Naam, wajadnaha. Yes, we found her. Yani, yes, she was in her house. So wajadna is the last form of the verb. Jalasna indaha thulutha sa'atin. So we sat with her for 20 minutes. So thulutha is 1/3, so that will be 20 minutes, right? 1/3 of the hour. 20 minutes. وخرجنا من بيتها في الساعة الخامسة, and we left her house at 5 o'clock.
why does the sa have
Fatha.
Fatha?
Yeah, because it's maf'ul bihi. We know that indaha, we know that dharf plus mudaf ilayh and jar majroor, they cannot be, or they will not be object. Maf'ul bihi. So what is the maf'ul bihi here? Thulutha sa'atin, that is the maf'ul bihi.
So, I mean, why does jalasa needs to have a maf'ul bihi?
We sat,
We said there.
yes, there. So
So
yes, a good question. So well, I must say that this is, what do we call that? Maf'ul fihi. Maf'ul fihi is used for time, and the time is always mansub. I remember the example that Irfan asked one day. Ayya, do you remember that example? Ayya suratin hafidta hadha al-usbu'a. If you remember, so ayya suratin
yes.
hafidta hadha al-usbu'a.
Okay.
So if you remember, I said that hadha al-usbu, whenever we talk about the time is always maf'ul fihi, yani it is called, there are 5 types of types of mafa'il. We call them mafa'il khamsa.
Okay.
So one is maf'ul
Okay.
bihi, we have learned it already, and this is called maf'ul fihi. Maf'ul fihi is used for the nouns that are used for the time. For example, you say,
Okay.
I studied in the morning, darastu sabahan. I drank tea in the evening, sharibtul qahwata masa'an. So all maf'ul fihi will be used as, what do we call that? Mansub. So this is also maf'ul
Okay.
fihi. Did you
So
get it?
sulusa is yes. Sulusa is mansub and sa'atin is
Mudaf ilayh.
in jar because mudaf ilayh.
That's right.
Okay.
And fi sa'at al-khamisati, it is basically a sa'at al-khamisata, but because of fi, it has changed into a sa'at al-khamisati. As I said, the times like daqiqa, wa sa'a, wa subu, wa shahr, wa the year, whatever it is, it will be mansub. But however, we know that when there is a harf jar, then it will be changed into majroor. Did you get it?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. Al-um, ara'aytunna al-miknasata ya banatu? Did you see the broom, O daughters or O girls? Miknasa is on the pattern of mif'ala. Mif'ala is used for ismul ala, noun of instrument. Bahathtu anha. So bahatha means to look for, and it comes with the preposition of an. Bahathtu anha kathiran wama wajadtuha. I looked for it a lot. I tried to search for it a lot, but I didn't find it. Ma wama wajadtuha, and I didn't find it. Ha refers to the miknasa. Okay, so Ad says ana wada'tuha. So wada' is also one of the verbs that starts with wow.
More.
I put it. Okay, so the past will be the same. Conjugation will be the same. Ana wada'tuha tahta sullami hadha as-sabaha. Now you can see here, as-sabaha has fatha. Why?
مفعول فيه.
Maf'ul fihi. Excellent. So whenever we talk about the time, it will be mansub. So I put it under the stairs or under the ladder this morning. Marwan, ya ummi, أفي الثلاجة ماء بارد. Is there cold water in the refrigerator? نحن عطاش. We are thirsty. Okay. عطاش is the plural. So what will be the singular?
عطشان.
عطشان for the masculine, for the feminine.
عطشان.
عطشان. Okay. So Amina will say أنا عطشان. Bilal will say أنا عطشان. And the plural of it, they will say نحن عطاش. We are thirsty.
Sir, what is good, sir?
Again?
Atsha or Atsha? Ain
Well,
with kasra or fatha, sir?
عطشة فعلة on the pattern of فعلة. كسلة, if you remember the example of كسلة, عطشة, جوعة.
When it will be plural, it will take a kasra.
كسرة,
Like
that's right.
عطشان. Like
عطاش.
kisser.
It's on the pattern of فعال. فعال. Abshir, you're welcome. It's basically Abshir is to give someone glad tidings, glad news. So here it's like the good news for you is that like yes. So it's a very beautiful way of saying yes instead of saying Naam. When you say Abshir, that means there is a good news for you that you will find something. So that's why it's Abshir. Good news to you, Yani. There is cold water, and not only there is cold water, فيها ماء بارد وعصير البرتقالي, and there is also some orange juice as well. Asir is used for juice. Al-Burtaqal, orange. So Abshir, the good news. What's the good news? There is some cold water and also there is juice inside it as well. SubhanAllah, it's been a long lesson today. So what I would recommend, inshallah, is to go through the points that I sent you today, and then try to write down the new ideas and try to please memorize them, because they will keep on piling up and it will be a problem. So when there are so many things, they pile up, sometimes we tend to be a little bit like uncomfortable and we might think of giving up. Please never give up. Try as much as you can. Our target is, inshallah, to try to be able to understand Quran and Hadith, and not only to be able to understand it, but to teach it to others as well. Because inshallah, we have to be, inshallah, with the help of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, among those people who are خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه. The best among you are those who learn and teach Quran. So inshallah, may Allah make us among them. May Allah accept our efforts, and inshallah, I'll see you tomorrow. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم
السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
جزاك الله خير.
وإياكم.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله.